You know what these are? These are hundreds and hundreds of pictures. Pictures that I have shot. And when I die, as die I must, they're going to end up in the landfill. That's right. Why? Because they have no value to those that are left behind. So I had an idea that I would ship these to someone, perhaps my age, who wants to do some good. And they would then put them in these little things. That's right. Put them in these little things and then mail them to people who would appreciate a handwritten note. Of course, there's always somebody to break your bubble, and there was for me. They said, look, nobody cares about handwritten notes anymore. And that's too bad. They said people now use their cell phone to get text messages. But I am still 100% convinced that that is correct. If I were laying in a bed somewhere, I would so much rather to get something like this, a handwritten note of a nature photo, than a text message. Anyway, today I just want to ask a question. Where are you storing your treasure? See, one person's treasure is another person's trash. This is where I live. This is my home. Everything in this, except for the gifts that I have received. And when I make my great transition, everything will end up in one of three ways. They will end up at the curb to be transported to the landfill. It'll end up in the thrift store, and trust me, I love thrift stores. I hope a lot of things will end up in the thrift store because there is the potential of recycling. Or maybe you will send me a note and says, Dave, I would love to have whatever, let's say a camera. And I will put your name and address on a camera so that when I make my transition, somebody will contact you and says, if you really want the camera, let's arrange for shipment to you. I say this because when you're super rich, you can buy immortality, you know? The Bill Gates, the Warren Buffett, the Phil Knights of this world, they make donations to institutions that will put their name on a building or a library or something. They don't make donations to people like me, even though I've just said it over and over and over again. What I would really like, that I cannot afford, is a Canon R5C with 2 lenses. Am I ever going to get that as a gift? I sort of doubt it, because I cannot promise a building with the person's name on it. Even though I must tell you, I do not wish to appear to be ungrateful, because I am not. I have had many gifts, gifts that were meaningful, gifts that I have treasured from people like shipmates like Terry, for example. People that I have met, like Dottie. She used to be a neighbor. From my sisters who have donated lots of money, Letha, Vanny, Lorda, and Joyce. from Crystal, my cousin Crystal, who dated her time, energy, professionalism, so I could live here. So I have received a lot of really great gifts, and I treasure them all. What was that? I don't know. But anyway, so when I mentioned the fact that I would love to give these away to somebody, perhaps as a charity, I really mean it. Anyway, so where is your treasure? Let me tell you where my treasure is. This will probably end up in the landfill. Even though, if memory serves me correctly, this little chunk of concrete was a gift from a little boy, maybe 2 or 3 years old. He saw me on the beach shooting pictures, and he gave me this bit of concrete. Let me tell you why this bit of concrete means a lot to me. This little boy gave me this gift out of the goodness of his heart. That was many, many, many years ago. He's now an adult, and who knows? I don't know whatever happened to him. Maybe he is now someone who hates the world and hates people. But here's what's important. At that moment in time when he gave me that gift, he was innocent and his world was filled with love. He was not yet indoctrinated about hate, programmed with hate. So I treasure that rock because it was a moment in time when one person exchanged something with me. See this right here? I love this. This is from my grandchildren. Believe it or not, it's a birthday card. Wishing me a birthday wish. And it's from Maya, Preston, and Lennox, my grandchildren. Now, it doesn't mean anything to anybody else, so that no doubt will end up in the landfill. This right here, this is a card from Aiden, my grandnephew Aiden. Thank you. Hi. Love, Aiden. I like Aiden. I am so blessed to have met Aiden. Aiden's mother was a cousin of mine, and she passed away. But before she passed away, she gave me a gift of money, enough to buy stamps so that I could mail to people wildflower seeds for their garden. Yeah, Aiden's mom paid for the stamps, and it is something that is ongoing because I made a video about that, and every once in a while someone will see that video and they'll ask for wildflower seeds so they can plant a garden. Even now, I am very touched about that. This is a gift from my friend Chris Hamilton. Chris Hamilton is a member of the Unity Church of Tidewater, and he made these. These are things that he made, and he gave to people who meant something to him. This was the Christmas of 2023, and Chris gave me this gift. This too, no doubt, will end up in the landfill somewhere because it has no value to anyone but me. This this is from one of the loves of my life. my granddaughter Maya. She gave this to me, and this is on my board. I call it my I Love Me board. Thank you, Maya. Unfortunately, that too will end up in the landfill because it has no meaning to anyone else but me. My friend Melanie wrote me this note September last year. Dave, thanks for being a blessing to me. Melanie Gale. You must know, by the way, that Melanie, throughout the years, have donated money to me so that I could do what I do. She didn't have to do that, you know, but she chose to do it. When I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, I honestly thought that I only had weeks to live. Yet the one thing that I wanted more than anything else, I wanted a home. I wanted a home. Someplace that I could spend the rest of my life in. So, when I expressed that desire to have a house, I didn't really care what it looked like. I just wanted that feeling of having a home. Many people, of course, they saw no value in that because my time was limited. Others, they say, look, why not help Dave to find a home? And this is my home. This is my home thanks to people that donated money that would make it happen. Melanie, Dr. Riviera, Crystal, my cousins, Crystal, a lot of people. They did because they figured, what the hell? Give them a place to live, we can always sell it and get back the money we put into it. It doesn't matter what their true motive was. What matters is that they felt me. They felt my desire to have a home. And then my wife Linda, oh God bless her. Linda is one of those, oh by the way, my ex-wife Annette donated a lot of money so I could have a place. My wife Linda, she is an angel on earth. Not only did she help me to furnish this place, she and my sister Lethe, she put real art on the walls. She created a backyard garden that I have shared with you over the years because she knows that photography is my passion. And there will be days when I would not want to leave my house, but I could go in the backyard and shoot pictures. My pictures is on my Facebook page every day. So, many of my pictures were shot in my backyard, thanks to Linda, and they were shot in the Norfolk Botanical Garden, again, thanks to Linda and her peers there, who make the garden a place that welcomes my photography. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that all of this will end up in one of three ways. More than likely, it'll end up in the landfill, all of it. Perhaps some of it will be transported to the thrift store because it still has some value to somebody. And I hope that happens. And the third option, of course, is that people will say, you know, I really would like something that once belonged to Dave. Now, how do I know that? I know that because when my father died, there were a lot of people who came down that were grabbing everything that they could get. But I had a cousin by the name of Conrad. So when my father died, you know what Conrad wanted? Still touches me. Conrad came in and he said, you know what I want? I want Uncle Webster's pipe. It was all chewed up, it's all beaten up, but that's what Conrad wanted. He wanted something personal, an old chewed up pipe of my dad. Where is your treasure? Also, I want to show you one of my treasures. This is a note from my friend Joe Culver. This note, no doubt, will end up in the landfill. Of course, I won't be around, so you're thinking, what difference does it make, right? This note was written March 14th, 2014. March 24th, March 24th, 2014. And it's from my friend, Joe Culver. Dave, your work is worth more, but this is what I can let go of. Enclosed was a check, by the way, that he donated to me. I appreciate your work. I appreciate you. Signed, Joe. Where is your treasure? I share these, a handful of things that I have received, and I know none of these will end up in a thrift store because it has no value, no cash value. So these things will end up in the landfill. It's okay, because at the time I received them, I appreciated them more than ever. There's a man in Tampa, Florida, who sends me money. He is with the company called the Zombie Skateboard Company in Tampa, Florida. He likes what I do, and he'll send me money, $15, $10, $20, whatever. But it's not the money so much as the appreciation. That's his way of expressing his appreciation for what I do. And that, to me, is worth a lot. A lot. So, I ask again, where is your treasure? If you, this shirt, by the way, I should have mentioned this shirt earlier. This shirt is a gift from my son-in-law's father. His name is Cedric. He's a shipmate. Cedric gave me so many shirts that I never, ever, ever, ever will ever need to buy another shirt. Why? Because he wanted to. We wanted to. A lot of these shirts are like brand new, so they'll probably end up in the thrift store, which makes me happy because I know then somebody will use these shirts. See, I guess what I'm trying to say is this. I'm trying to ask the question, where is your treasure? My time is limited, and I know it. You're young and you're vibrant, and this is not a subject that is on your mind. Your demise is not on your mind. Why should it be? because it ought not to be on your mind. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the things that I own, for all I know, somebody will want my magic watch. They will send me a note and they'll say, "Can I have your magic watch?" And of course, I will put magic watch and your name next to it, and you can enjoy that. You can enjoy that. See, when you die, one of two things happen. Either absolutely nothing. You live, you were born, you live, you die, and that's it. That's it. Nothing else. That's it. Or the other possibility is that mysterious thing called consciousness will go on. Now, some people share their experiences of reincarnation, and some people come back and experience their karma. When Jesus saw the man who was crippled, and the disciples said to him, "Who sinned?" Jesus did not blame God. He said, "It's a manifestation." He didn't use the word karma, of course, and even if he did, we would not have known about it, because the Bible has been messed up so much, embellished and so much. But his point was, it is not about God, it is about the crippled man. Jesus told Mary Magdalene in the Gospel of Mary, which by the way was left out of the Bible, Jesus told her there is no such thing as sin. We create our own manifestation by our behavior. We have free choice, you know. We can either be the best human being that we can be or not. So, where's your treasure? Where is your treasure? I think nobody will watch us to the end. Why should they? Not with TikTok out there. TikTok only lasts a few seconds. And quite frankly, you don't really have an awful lot of time to listen to what I have to say. Now, do you? No matter. If you ever want to have a hobby, remember, these pictures, even though people no longer care about nature photos, you may want to mail pictures like this to people who are in hospitals, hospices, adult care homes, who knows, people who appreciate nature photos. It's just an idea. Anyway, thank you for listening. And thank you, Joe, for one of the most beautiful notes I've ever received during a time of my life when I needed this assurance.